Shalom. I thought I would start this video with a Mishnah from Pirkei Avot, the sayings of the fathers. This is available anywhere you can find the Mishnah, including on Chabad.org and Sefaria.org. This particular Mishnah has always held a special place for me, and just thought I would share it with you. This is 215 and 216. Rabbi Tarfon Omer. So Rabbi Tarfon was a Tana, what the sages of the Mishnah are called Tanaim. And Rabbi Tarfon would say, Hayom Katser, the day is short, right? V'hamalacha meruba, and the work is great. There's a lot of work to be done. V'hapo'alim etzelim, and the workers are lazy. V'haschar harbe, and the wages are great. So there's a lot to be earned. U'ba'al habayit dochek, and the master of the house, the master, is pushing, is saying, get on with it. Mishnah 16. Hu haya omer, he would say, Lo alecha hamelacha ligmor, it is not incumbent upon you to finish the work. Velo ata ben chorin lebatel mimena, and you are not free to not do it, to nullify the work, to say, I'm not gonna work on this. Im lemadata Torah harbe, if you learned a lot of Torah, notnin lacha schar harbe, they give you a lot of schar, a lot of reward, I guess, a wage, right? V'ne'eman hu ba'al malachtecha sheyishalem lecha schar peulatecha. And ne'eman is the passive form of, is the nif'al of emunah, of faith. So he is believed, he is known to be believable. The master of your work, right? Your taskmaster, that he will pay you the wages of your work. Veda matan scharan shel tzadikim latid lavo, and know that the giving of their wages, right? The receiving of their wages of tzadikim, of righteous people, is to come in the future. And I just thought this was a really important Mishnah. It says something I think is really important, especially because I see so many people get into that whole debate of works versus faith, faith versus works. And in a lot of ways, I find that to be, I don't want to say silly, but in a way a silly argument to have. I think a lot of us have faith, and we need to do work, because that is how we show that we have faith. And we have to, we have to do what our Father wants us to do. And it's not about, look, I do believe that people who do the work will receive a reward for that work. But even if you don't believe that, what does it matter? Um, you work in your father's house because you love your father, and not because you're hoping to, get something out of it. If you love your father, you love your father. And if you don't love your father, then there's something really important missing there. And I just, I, I thought this has been something that's been nagging at me when I hear people um, get into that whole faith and works debate. I think in Christianity you have something that goes, by their fruits you shall know them, and it's very similar to a verse I really like, because David says to King Saul, that you can look up the whole thing there, but he says to him, um, like the old saying, like the mashal, right? And I really love the idea that this is something that was already an old saying by the time King David said it, and it's in the Bible. You can really take an old saying to the bank when the Bible says this is an old saying, right? This is definitely an old saying. Mirasha yetze resha. From evildoers comes evil things. And the corollary to that is from good people come good things. And yeah, I just needed to say that we need to prove that we have faith, by trying to do works, right? Lo alecha hamalacha ligmor. You don't have to finish the work, but lo ata ben chorin labatel mimena. You are not free to just say, well, I'm not gonna do this. I just thought that was an important thing to start off with. And with that, let's get into Genesis chapter 11. We're going to get into Dor HaHaflaga. We are going to start talking about the Tower of Babel. So, Genesis 11:1. Veyehi chol haaretz safa echat udvarim achadim. Okay, interesting way to put it. So we have the conjunctive vav, and he is the imperfect of to be, which is being flipped by that vav at the beginning to be the completed, to be the perfect, right? Chol haaretz, right? All of the land with the article. Safa, right? And safa literally is a lip, right? But here it means a language. Safa echat, right? And because safa is in the feminine singular, achat is one in the feminine singular, right? So there was one language for everyone. Udevarim achadim, which is an interesting way of putting it. So we have the conjunctive vav, and then we have devar, right, which is daled bet resh, and medaber is one way to say to speak, but devar also means a thing, a concept, right? So they're translating it here. There was one speech, devarim achadim, which is kind of. I'm actually wondering what Rashi says here. We'll see. But devarim is in the plural, right? So masculine plural, and achadim, right, is also the masculine plural of one. So there were singular things or singular words or That is an interesting way of putting it. One speech is I don't think captures the Hebrew here. Okay, so let's see what King James does with this verse. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. Not a huge fan of that. Let's see what NIV does that. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. Let's see how Chabad translates that. Now the entire earth was of one language and uniform words. I prefer that. Yeah, I like that better. Let's see what Rashi says. Safar Achat, he says Lashon HaKodesh, which is of course Hebrew. So he's saying that everybody spoke Lashon Kodesh, spoke Hebrew. Okay? Devarim Echadim, Hebrew Devarim Echadim, right? Ba'u be'etza echad. They came with one scheme and said he had no right to select for himself the upper regions. Let us ascend to the sky and wage war with him. Another explanation, they spoke against the sole one of the world. Another explanation of Devarim Echadim, right? Because, so I think I said the root Aleph Mem Resh for speaking is usually in Jewish theology we say that Omer is a softer, whereas Dover, right, to speak, the root Dalet Bet Resh is more sharp. It's more contentious words. They said once every 1,656 years, the sky totters as it did in the time of the flood. Come and let us make supports for it. So these are different midrashim explaining what exactly Devarim Echadim means, right? So Rashi is explaining that so either they were talking about Echadim, right? They were talking about oneness. So that's the whole right. He's saying Davar Achar al Yechido Shel Olam, right? They were talking about the singular one, the sole one, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, right? So that's one way. That's the second thing he says is Devarim Echadim. The first one is that they had spoken together and come up with a plan, right? Etza Achat. They had come up with a plan. So that's his first explanation. His second explanation is that they were talking about Yechido Shel Olam. They were talking about the one, right? So that's a second explanation of what Devarim Echadim could possibly mean. And the third one is that they had decided to, and that he's getting that from the Midrash Rabbah, from the Midrash Rabbah is a it's the Midrash is a explanation of the words of the Torah in an allegorical manner, right? Not a very literal manner. You can look up the Midrashim; they're all available. I believe Sefaria has all the Midrashim available, but they're in Hebrew, unfortunately. I don't think most of them have been translated. So these are the three explanations he gives for Devarim Echadim, and the Hebrew Devarim Echadim. I don't like either one of the King James or the NIV, how they're translating it. It doesn't show the Hebrew, the complexity of the Hebrew in that verse. Okay, next verse. Vayehi benosam mikedem veyimtzeu bik'a be'eretz shinar veyeshvu sham. Okay. Vayehi, again, we've had that before. It's the conjunctive vav. Yehi is in the perfect, and the vav flips it to the perfect. benosam, right? So we have the prepositional bet, and the root here is nun samech ayin, right? Nos'e means to journey, right? So that's a root. You can look up the roots. That you can use your concordance there. Nesia is something that's used a lot in the Bible. Especially in Exodus and Leviticus, right? So we have a lot of journeys, especially when we're talking about the Aron, 146 times. So it's not. I believe this is the first time we may not even be the first time we've had it. Is it? Yeah, it is the first time we've had it, but it's a common for so nosam, right? The mem at the end is the third person masculine plural. So their journeys. I'm not exactly sure who it's talking about. I guess the children of Noah. Mi kedem, so prepositional mem and kedem we've discussed many times before. The root kof dalet mem, meaning either east or for, ahead, in front of, right? Mi kedem. Vayimtzeu, so this is conjunctive vav. The yud tells you that it's in the imperfect. And the root here is a mem tzadik aleph, to find, matzah, right? Vayimtzeu, and they found, right? The vav at the end is the third person masculine plural. So, and they found. So the vav is what's flipping that to be in the completed, right? Because it's in the imperfect, but it's being flipped by the vav. Bik'ah, right? And bokeh, the root there is bet of ayin, which means to break open. I would have usually translated that as a valley, but they're saying plain. Now let's see what the concordance here says. A valley or plain, bika, right? Not sure why here it's called a beak, right? Why in Genesis it's a plain, whereas everywhere else it's a valley. In Nehemiah, that it's also a plain. Yeah, I'm not sure why they chose properly a split. Yeah, I agree with that. So I'm not sure why they would say plain, but they apparently do. Let's see. Okay, bika, be'eretz. So prepositional bet, no article. Eretz meaning land. Shin ar. We had shin ar before, so it's the name. Veyeshvu. So conjunctive vav. The yud is telling you that it's in the imperfect. However, you want to. There's a shin and a bet there. Whether you want to say that the root is shin vav bet, there yud shin bet. I would agree with that, right? I could. So even though, right, the yud is actually part of the conjugation here, it's also part of the root, right? So yeshvu, and they dwelt, right? Yeshev, moshav. We've had this root several times before, and the vav at the end is the third person masculine plural. Sham meaning there, right? Okay, so let's see what King James does with that. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Not sure why they're using plain. Okay, NIV. As people moved eastward, right? Eastward, Mikedem, they benosam Mikedem, from the east. I don't know why they're saying. We'll see the note. They found a plain in Shinar. Again, another note. And they settled there. Let's look at the notes. A and B, or from the east, or in the east. Okay, that is Babylonia. Not exactly sure why. Well, yeah, Shinar. Yeah, I guess Shinar is in Babylon. I guess. Let's see what Chabad does with it. And it came to pass when they traveled from the east that they found a valley in the land of Shinar and settled there. Yeah, I from everything I see, I mean, I'm going with Chabad. No surprise there, but I'm actually kind of surprised at the other things. But okay. Um, let's read the Rashi just for fun. When they traveled from the east, where they had settled, as it is written in 10:30, right, in last chapter, and Veihi Moshavam Har Hakedem, right, and they traveled. Yeah, so he's explaining that it's a continuation of the previous chapter. Okay, let's look at verse 3. Vayomru ish el re'ehu hava nilbena levenim venisrefa lisrefa vatehi lahem halvena la'aven v'hachemar haya lahem lachomer. Okay, interesting. Okay, so conjunctive vav, the yud tells you that it's in the imperfect. The root is aleph mem resh, to say, right? And the vav is third person masculine plural. So the vav is flipping it from the imperfect to the perfect, from the incomplete. You know, every time we say perfect and imperfect, we mean complete and incomplete. Don't want you to mistake that. Ish el re'ehu. So ish means man, or it's fine to. I mean, I see why they're translating that as one, right? Ish el re'ehu, man. El is the preposition with the aleph, not ayin. Re'ehu, re'eh is a neighbor. Resh al ayin he. Let's look at the concordance here. Friend, companion, or fellow. And yeah, you can see all the times it's used in the Bible. Yeah, re'echa. So oftentimes we translate that as neighbor. And I usually translate re'ehu as neighbor. It shows up 186 times in the Bible. So man to his neighbor, or one to another. That's fine. Re'ehu. The vav at the end is the third person masculine singular. Ish el re'ehu is actually a phrase you're gonna. I think shows up many times. It's certainly common in modern Hebrew. Hava, right? Hava isn't a very common in the Hebrew. I actually thought it was in the Aramaic, but it means let's do this. And I am not. I mean, they're saying third person imperative of the root is yahav. They're saying it's yud hey bet. It does show up in. I mean, yeah, it does show up. So there's your concordance there. 33 total occurrences, which isn't a ton of times, but hava means come on, let's. So, I mean, I'm not sure I've seen it in many. I'm not sure I've seen it in other forms. Hav, Hava. And they're saying that the hey at the end is actually, so they're saying Hav, and they're saying the hey at the end is third person feminine singular. I don't know. This is like one of those words like Selah or Amen, which you can try to understand, but it's kind of like Hine. It's an interjection of sorts. It's not something you're gonna conjugate in other ways. Like you're never gonna. I've never seen this in a different conjugation, right? Have or hava, come. Um, yeah, it's an interjection. It's a common one, so it's kind of hard um, to actually try to figure these out. Nil bena. So the root here is lamed bet nun, right? Nil bena. They're saying, yeah, this is in the imperfect cohortive. Uh, the, it's in the imperfect first person collective plural, right? Nil bena. Let us. So literally, Lavan is white, and it's often used to mean white with heat, right? So here they're translating it as "let us make," but I would actually translate it as "let us bake," right? Nilbena levenim. Let us uh, baked things, kind of. Yeah, I mean, you see the Semitic repetition, right? Nilbena levenim. Let us let us let us baked things or bricks. Yeah, levenim are I mean here obviously it's bricks, right? Nilbena, let us make white hot, right? So it's the same root, lamed bet nun, and the hey at the end is kind of. Let's look at the constructor, the Hebrew constructor we have. I'm just gonna bookmark this. So the root is levan, right? And it's in the pa'al, and we want to see all the inflections. Let's look at nilbena, so for future tense, first person is nilbon, right? So that hey at the end is what got me. I'm not exactly sure why there's a hey at the end there. I am going to say that hey may be going. I'm not sure why there's a hey there, right? Because you see in the constructor here, we did the pal, and we have the first person collective plural, right? Future tense. I guess maybe because it's making it in the imperative. Maybe. That's the only thing I can think of is that it's in the. So let's try the imperative. Nilbena. I'm not sure. I think it might be the fact that it's well, I mean, it might be that the hay is making it feminine, but that doesn't make sense to me. Possibly Rashi will say, possibly. Um, let's try. Let's try. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know what to tell you. No, that's not. It's not doing it that way either. Um, let's try that. Let's see, maybe that'll do it. Um, no, no, Nilbana. I'm not sure what to tell you. We'll look at the Rashis. Does Rashi say Levanim? No, it doesn't seem to say either. Um, I mean, there are some other commentaries I might look at myself, but let's keep on going. Nilbana Levanim venisrefa lisrefa. So the root here is sameh, not sameh, sin resh pe, like seraphim, right? It means to fire, right? Srefa is a fire. Nisrefa lisrefa, and we shall bake them thoroughly. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, nilbena levenim, we shall make bricks and we shall bake them thoroughly. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that's, and you see, it's there is a poetic language here which might be the cause of why it sounds like a little bit different, right? So nilbena levenim venisrefa lisrefa. So that's prepositional lamed here. There's no there levenim doesn't have the prepositional lamed, but here it is a prepositional lamed, and I'm guessing that it's there just to sound similar. Nilbena levenim venisrefa lisrefa, right? So I would say this whole thing is a very poetic way of saying this, right? Vatehi. So conjunctive vav, tehi is in the feminine, right, of to be, and I guess that comes because levena is feminine. Vatehi lahem halevana, right? And so the bricks were for them le'aven. So let's go through it with it. This is the prepositional lamed. Hem is the third person masculine plural, so it was to them. Ha levena with the article, the brick, right? The brick was to them le'aven. So prepositional lamed, aven means stone. Even means stone. So bricks were for them as stones to build with. And that's, you'll see bet nun hey is the root to build, right? So la'aven, for building stones, right? Even usually connotes some sort of building, right? Vehachon chemar, right? So conjunctive vav, hey is the article. Chemar comes from the root het mem resh, which is a ground thing. Hamar, right? It means something that is ground. Let's look at the concordance here, if it'll load. Bitumen or asphalt shows up only 3 times in the Bible. You can look up the other places. And I think Hamar. I guess it could come from het mem, which is a root meaning hot, which might be why they're. But Hamar we actually also use um, as as a way of saying like beer. I want to say you can use the concordance there, right? Um, Hachamar, the chamar was haya, right? So that's the to be in the perfect, right? In the haya was lahem. So prepositional lamed hem being third person masculine plural. La homer. So prepositional lamed with the article homer, meaning mortar, which I guess is being used as a different root. Chamarim. Yeah, I would. Well, chamor is a donkey. Um, yeah, Homer, clay. Yeah, I would take a look at your concordance here. But mortar makes sense to me. I mean, that is how I would translate it as well, right? And chamar was for them a mortar. Let's see what King James does with verse 3. And they said one to another, right? So they're translating Vayomer ish el re'ehu, one to another, right? Go to, so that's Hava, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. Okay. NIV. They said to each other, come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly. Okay. They used brick instead of stone. I'm not sure I like that. And tar for mortar. Okay, let's see what Chabad does with that. And they said to one another, come, let us make bricks and fire them thoroughly. So the bricks were to them for stones, and the clay was to them for mortar. Yeah, that's what I like. So ish al who Rashi is saying Omer le'uma, right? One nation to another, Mitzrayim, Lakush, Lakush, Lefut, Fut, Lachanan. So each nation to each other, right? Hava. So Rashi is going to explain Hava, prepare yourself. Every Hava is an expression of preparation, meaning that they prepare themselves and join for work or of counsel. Or for bearing a load, prepare, and he translates it into Old French, appareil clair. So if you know French, Rashi does that, and apparently this is referenced in the Zohar, which Rashi doesn't speak to himself, but apparently that's it. Bricks, levanim, because there are no stones in Babylon, which is a valley, right? So because it was a bika, apparently it's not. I guess that's a bit of history he's getting for Pikei de Rabbi Eliezer. And fire them thoroughly, right? Nisrefa, this is how they make bricks, which are called tivles in the Old French. They fire them in a kiln. And for mortar, latua hakir, right? To plaster the wall. I'm not sure exactly why Rashi's explaining that, but that's what Rashi's saying. Okay, let's keep on going. Verse 4. Vayomru hava nilbena lanu ir umigdal verosho bashamayim v'naase lanu shem pen nafutz al pnei kol haaretz. Very interesting. So, by Yomru, so conjunctive vav, the yud puts it in the imperfect. The root is aleph mem resh, to say. The vav, third person masculine plural, and of course the first vav turns the imperfect into the perfect. Hav'a, we just spoke about. Nivne, right? So the root here is bet nun hey, which means to build. Nivne means let us build. It's the imperfect of the first person, the collective, right? They're saying it's cohortive if contextual, and yes, here contextually it makes sense. It's saying let us build, right? Lanu, so prepositional lamed, nun vav, for us, right? Let's build for us. Ir means city, pretty simple. Migdal, so conjunctive vav, migdal comes from the root gimel daled lamed, which means big, right, or to grow, and migdal is something which has grown, which it becomes tower, right? It's a common word. It's found many places and you can find it in your concordance. So migdal literally means, it means something that's big, but it refers to a tower. Ve rosho, so conjunctive of again, rosh we've had many times, which is head or top, resh aleph shin, and the vav at the end is the third person masculine singular, so it's top. Ba shamayim, so that's a prepositional bet with the article ba shamayim, heavens, right? So and its top shall be in the heavens. Ve naaseh, so conjunctive vav again, then nun telling us that it's in the again same thing. It's in the future of ayin sin hey, to do, la'asot, right, to do or make. Ve naaseh, and we shall make. Lanu, so prepositional lamed, lanu is first person collective plural, right? For ourselves. Shem meaning name. Pen means lest, and that's shown up before. Pen nafutz. So the root here I would say is actually pe tzadek hey, or is it pe vav tzadek? What are they saying? They're saying it's pe vav tzadek. It's definitely pet tzaddik. I mean, nafutz. So they're saying imperfect first person. I agree with that. So the nun is putting in the first person collective, right? For first person plural. Nafutz, to spread out, be scattered. Yeah, I guess. Although I think you might also say that this might be a hufal, a verb hufal. You can play with that root there, what exactly that root is. To be scattered, to be spread out, I would probably, possibly that it's actually in the nifal or hufal. You might try. I mean, the constructor might be your friend here, if you want to do that. Nafutz al, so that's the preposition with the ayin, not aleph. Pene, we've had many times. It's the construct form of faces. Chol, meaning all of. Haaretz. So Pene chol haaretz. It's one big construction here. Chol meaning all, and haaretz is land with the hay, right? Let's see what King James does with verse 4. And they said, go to, so again, Hava, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach onto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Okay. NIV, Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." Yeah, I like the NIV better than the King James. Let's see what Chabad does with it. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make ourselves a name, lest we be scattered upon the face of the earth, entire earth." Whole heart, pnei whole heart. So Rashi explains to be scattered, pen nafutz, that he should not bring upon us any plague to scatter us from here, and that's apparently from the Tanhuma, Midrash Tanhuma. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's the meaning is there. How we get there, you might get there in different ways. Vayered Havaya lirot et ha'ir ve'et hamigdal asher banu bnei ha'adam. Very interesting verse here. How exactly? So let's take a look at it. So the root is, conjunctive vav, right? Yered, the root, I would say, is a resh daled hey, to come down, and the hey has absconded, and the yud here would be part of the imperfect, right? Alternatively, you might actually say that the root is hey resh daled, which, okay, so it has a limrod means to rebel, but it can also mean to kind of like be tyrannical upon, right? Vayeret Havaya. I can see an argument for saying that this actually should be related to rulership, right? Roots that have to do with rulership, right? So the resh and the dalet are definitely there, but there are several roots you might want to ascribe to here. One of which is certainly to descend, to come down, and the other which is to deal harshly with. So depending on how you want to do this, but so Havaya, this is the Tetragrammaton, obviously. Lirot, this is the infinitive of the root resh aleph hey, to see, right? So Hashem came to see. Et is the direct object marker. Ha'ir, right? Article and city. Ve'et, so conjunctive vav again. Et is the direct object marker. Ha-migdal, right? So article and migdal, tower, we just spoke about. Asher is the pronoun relative. Banu b'nei ha'adam. So Banu shows up many times before. It's the perfect third person collective plural or masculine plural of livnot. The root is bet nun hey here. I can see I can see people making other translations, which I don't personally like, because Banu can also mean onto us, but that's an argument you can make that I don't think contextually makes sense, so I won't make it. Bene is the construct form of sons, right? Bnei ha'adam. the sons of man, right? I wouldn't read too much into the Ha-Adam, right? Ha-Adam, it would be a man, but here this is a construct of Ha-B'nai Adam, right? The article goes on the last noun in a construct, and that's what's going on here, right? So sons of men, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's fine. Although you could make an argument that B'nai Ha'adam means sons of the man, right? And then you would have to discern whether the man is Noah or the man is actually Adam. But we won't go there. Okay, let's see what King James does with verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. Okay, NIV. But the Lord, so they're translating the vav as but. I'm not sure why. The Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. I don't like were building. Banu is perfect, so were building doesn't make sense. Let's see what Chabad does with that. And the Lord descended to the city and the tower that the sons of man had built to see the city. Right, descended to see the city and the tower the sons of man had built. Yeah, I that's what I prefer. Let's see, Rashi's. He did not need to do this except to teach judges just not to condemn a defendant until they see the case and understand it. This is a midrash of Rabbi Tanhuma, right? Why did Hashem do this? Is to instruct us that we should not be hasty in judgment. The sons of man have been B'nai Ha'adam. But the sons of whom else could they have been? The sons of donkeys and camels. Sometimes Rashi is funny. Rather, this refers to the sons of the first man who was ungrateful and said, the woman whom you gave to me. So Rashi is actually going on B'nai Ha'adam. He's actually making that argument. Well, this is a midrash Agada. I'm not actually sure why Rashi feels he needs to bring it, but these two were ungrateful in rebelling against the one who lavished goodness upon them and saved them from the flood. I guess, yeah, he's saying, why is it mentioning Banu B'nai Ha'adam? Why is that mentioned? It's to show that they were acting like Adam when he was ungrateful as well. Okay. Okay, verse 6. Vayomer Havaya hen am echad v'safa achat lechulam v'zeh hachilam la'asot va'ata lo yipatzer mehem kol asher yazmu la'asot. Very interesting. Okay, let's see. So conjunctive vav, yud tells you it's an imperfect. This is the amar. It gets flipped to the perfect, to the completed. So, and said, havaya, right, is the tetragrammaton. Hen, so hen, it's an interjection indeed, right? Or behold, hen. Well, right, behold would be hine. Hen is indeed. That makes sense. Meaning a nation, right? Echad, meaning one, right? So they're one nation, both in the masculine singular. Ve-safa, echat, right? So conjunctive vav, safa, again, language we've had. Echat, meaning one. So you'll notice it's masculine and feminine. This is a little bit of a poetic touch here, right? Echad and echat, right? Lechulam. So prepositional lamed, chol meaning all, chulam is all of them, right? It's a third person masculine plural. Veze hachilam. So conjunctive vav, ze is pronoun masculine singular, and this hachilam. So the hifil of, right. So the root here is he het lamed, written in the hifil in the causative, but it's bechisaron. There's the yud isn't written there, right? They began hachilam. The mem at the end tells you they began. It's this is. I mean, it's a strange. It's a strange construction here, hachilam, and honestly, I can understand that you might actually read this to have to do with milchama, with 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 a well, I mean milchama is machal. Oh, hachilam, yeah, they have begun, yeah. Yeah, he feel I can agree with that. Right. Yeah, I can agree with that. Although it is, I mean, at the very least, it's written bechisaron. It's written lacking the yud, which is a little bit curious. I'm wondering what Rashi will say. Okay. La'asot, here written b'milui, to do, right? This is the infinitive of to do. The root is ayin sin hey. And here it's written b'milui with the vav, which is a little bit not expected. Okay. Ve'ata, so conjunctive vav, ata meaning now, right? Et is a time, ata is now. Et is a season or time or moment. Ata is this moment, the right now. Lo, nothing. Yivatser. So the root here is bet tzadek resh. Batzar. Let's see here. To cut off, make inaccessible, to enclose. Yeah. Diminish, subtract, side, edge. Yeah. Fortify, fortifications, fences. Yeah. Betsurot. Yeah. Yivatser. So they're saying it's in the nifal. Yeah, I would agree with that. In the passive, yivatser shall not. So the yud puts it in the imperfect. Third person masculine singular. Yivatser, to be withheld, right? Shall not be cut off from them. Mehem, prepositional mem, hem, making it obviously third person masculine plural. From them, kol, meaning all. Asher is the pronoun relative. Yazmu la'asot. So the root here is actually zayin mem, right? Zamam, right? Yeah, that's the root. Zayin mem, to devise, to plan. The most famous is to conspire, right? Edim zomimim, the conspiring witnesses, which shows up in Deuteronomy, I want to say. You can look at it in your concordance. Yazmu means to conspire, to make plans. It is in the imperfect, and the vav at the end makes it in a third person masculine plural. that they shall conspire la'asot, again to do, with the vav written completely, yazmu, what they shall conspire to do. Let's see what King James does with verse 6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. I don't like imagined here. Let's see, NIV. The Lord said, if as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Okay, yeah. Let's see, Chabad verse 6. And the Lord said, lo, right? Hen, lo. Yeah, I like that. They are one people, right? Hen, echad. They are one, yeah. And they have one language, v'safa achat. And this is what they have commenced to do, right? V'zeh hachilam lasot, right? Now will it not be withheld from them all that they have planned to do? Kol asher lo va'ata lo yivatzer mehem. Yeah, and I think based on the cancellations especially, they're reading this as a question, based on the cancellation marks. Let's see what Rashi says. Hen am echad v'safa echad kol tova zu yesh imahem. All this goodness they have, that they are one people and they are all have one language, and they have commenced to do this. This is from the Seder Eliyahu Rabbah. So he's saying, even though they have right, because being one people and speaking well of each other, like the verse from Sephania I like to quote every in each video. That's something that's going to happen. That's a good thing that's going to happen once the Messiah comes, and thus, but look what they're doing. Hachilam, their beginning, right? Kamo omram asotam hatchilu hem laasot, right? So he's saying we previously had omram and asotam, them doing hachilam, right? Their beginning, yeah. I see how Rashi's doing this. Okay. Will it not be withheld? This is a question. The word yivatzer means withholding, as it's Aramaic yitmena. Apparently he's getting it from one of the Targumim, I'm guessing. And similar to this, in Psalm 76:13, yivtzar, right? Yivtzor ruach negidim. So you can see the same word is being used in Psalm 76 verse 13, if you want to look at that. Okay. Verse 7. Hava nerda venavla sham sfatam asher lo yishmeu ish sefat re'ehu. Okay. So Hava, so this is, I think it's kind of important to note here, it seems that the construction is parallel to the previous construction. So just as they said, Hava Nilbana, right? So God is saying similarly to how they're saying, that explains the collective speaking here, because it's very similar, and you'll notice that even the words, right, nerda, right, let us go down, It's very close to how they themselves said Nilba Levenim Nisrefa Srefa, right? So again, I think that the Torah is being poetic here. But the root obviously is Resh Dalet Hey, to go down, Ner Da, right? It's first person cohortive, they say, first person plural. Venavla. So conjunctive Vav, the root here is actually possibly, so there are verbs lepalpel, right? Bilbul is a common thing that shows up in the Bible several times. And it, right? So they're saying the root here is bet lamed lamed. Yeah, I can agree with that, because this is one of the things that, we see it a lot in the root hitbalbel, right? To be confused in the reflexive. Yeah, you'll see it again, and that's what it appears to be coming from. And of course, Bavel, right? Babylon. But Navla, we shall confuse. It's bet lamed lamed is irregular, but it's used several times. You might want to use your concordance, but it makes sense to me that let us confuse. Sham, there, meaning there. Sefatam. So safa we've had several times. Language. Sin pe hey. The hey turns into a tuf because it's being constructed with that third person masculine plural, their language, right? Safat turns into safatam. Asher is the pronoun relative. Lo meaning no, not. Yishme'u, right? The root here is shin mem ayin, to hear. They're translating as understand. Okay, I would translate as to hear. The yud tells you it's an imperfect. The vav at the end tells you it's third person masculine plural. Ish safat re'ehu. So we had ish al re'ehu, and here it's ish safat re'ehu. So ish meaning man. Safat is in the construct safa, right? We just spoke about is language or speech, or literally lip. Sfat re'ehu, the language of re'eh, meaning neighbor. Re'ehu meaning his neighbor, but they're translating it as of another's. You're right. Ish re'ehu is, like I said before, it's a common construction. 11:7. Let's look at King James. Go to, let us. So hava again. There, let us go down, and there confound their language, right? Because we have that sham, navla sham, right? And there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Yeah, I can see that. NIV, come, let us go down and confuse their speech, so they will not understand each other. So NIV is not bothering with that there, right? With the sham in the wording there. Chabad, come, let us descend and confuse their language, so that one will not understand the language of his companion. And so they're not actually translating the sham either, right? Let us descend there, to there, which I would put there. Come, let us descend. So from the Talmud Sanhedrin, he's saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took counsel from the angels because he is, of course, anav. Um, he has great humility, and he's teaching us something. Come, hava, measure for measure, right? Mida keneged mida. Just like they said, hava nivne, he says hava, right? Vehu kenegdam, moded va'amer, hava nirda, right? Like I said before, and this is said by the Midrash Tanchuma, right? So Nev, nevalvel, right? Rashi is saying it comes, right? Because the bilbul is actually, we see a lot. The nun is used here for the prefix, right? Hey, let us descend. So, yeah, Rashi is saying the hey is superfluous, just like in the first one, nerda. I guess Yetera. You can look in the Targum Onkelos. If it is Yetera, then you know if there is an extra superfluous hey, then it is something we usually darshan. We usually come up with a reason why that is. So I'm not sure why Rashi's not bothering to say why that superfluous hey is there, uh, unless he's saying that it's just for poetic reasons. Will not lo yishme'u. Ze shoel levana. Oh, this one will ask for a brick from the other. V'ze mevi tit, and the other one brings mortar. V'ze omed alav upotzea et mocho. Right, and they would fight against each other because they would not understand each other, and they would have uh, they would be not happy. Okay, let's look at verse 8. Vayafetz havaya otam misham al pnei chol haaretz vayichdalu livnot ha'ir. Okay, so conjunctive vav yud tells you, well, they're saying it's in the hefil. The yud, yeah, imperfect. Yafetz. Again, what exactly you're going to say that root is to be scattered? Vayafetz. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with them. The root is either pe vav tzaddik or pe tzaddik hey, or even maybe hey pe tzaddik. You can play around with that, but scattering is definitely what it's talking about. Havaya is obviously the tetragrammaton. Otam, the direct object marker. Otam meaning them, right? Third person masculine plural because of that mem at the end. Mi sham, prepositional mem, sham meaning there. We've had there many times, and it's actually keeps on talking about there, which I find interesting. Al is the preposition with the ayin, not aleph. Pene, meaning face, faces, right, in the construct form. Chol, meaning all. Haaretz, the land with the article. Vayachaldu, vayachadlu, sorry, yachdalu, livnot ha'ir. Chadal, so the root is obviously het daled lamed. That's not a verb I am familiar with. Let's see how many times it shows up in the Bible. Quite a few times, actually. 58 times. I'm wondering why I am not. Chadalu. Chadal לעשות הפסח. Chadel mimenu. To cease. Okay. Don't know what to tell you. It's not a verb I recognized for some reason. Okay. Vayachtelu livnot. So this is the infinitive of bet nun hey. It's written here bechisaron. It's written without a vav. And the hey turns into a taf at the end. That's common. Ha'ir, the city, with the article. So they ceased to build the city. King James, verse 8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. From building the city. Let's see what NIV does. So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. Yeah, I'm thinking NIV. Let's look at Chabad. And the Lord scattered them from there upon the face of the entire earth, and they ceased building the city. Yeah, I agree with that. And Rashi says that this is what Solomon said in Proverbs 10:24: "The dread of a wicked man that will befall him." Right? Because they said that's what they didn't want, and when you are wicked, this is what happens to you, Rasha. What you dread will come to pass. Okay, verse 9. Al-ken karat shema Bavel, ki sham balal havaya sefat kol haaretz, umisham hefitsam havaya al penei kol haaretz. And there's a petucha, there's an open space in the scroll. Okay. So al-ken is thus, right? Literally, it's the preposition ayin, preposition al with the ayin, not aleph, upon al-ken, therefore, right? Upon this. Ken meaning so, or yes, or thus. Kara, the root is kufrish aleph. It's in the simple call perfect. Called, right? Yeah, I mean, who called is not obvious here. And it's not actually in the imperfect like they're implying. And thus he called. I would actually kind of imply that HaKadosh Baruch Hu called, Hashem called, God called that. Shema, right? Its name, her name, right? I guess referring to, is ear feminine? I'm not sure why it's in the feminine. Shema, her name. Bavel. Well, Bavel is in the feminine, so I guess, yeah. So, ki, for, right? Sham, there. Balal, right? And we discussed the root balal. Bet lamed lamed, right? I think here it's in the kal perfect, right? The simplest form. Confused. Havaya is the tetragrammaton. Sefat kol haaretz, right? So this is one big construction. Safa meaning language or lip. Because it's in the construct form, the hey turns into a taf. Kol, all of. Haaretz. So the article goes on the last noun, and aretz meaning land. U misham, so conjunctive vav, prepositional mem, sham meaning there. Hefitzam, right? So this is in the hifil, and actually the root is hey pet tzadik. right? This is why I kind of not sure I would agree with that. It's yeah, I guess the root could be pe vav tzadik. Yeah, okay, hefitzam in the hifil with the yud. The yud is obviously there. I guess yeah, the vav, the vav absconds because it's a weak verb in the hifil. And the mem at the end is the third person masculine plural, right? So God scattered them, hefitzam, right? And you can use your constructor there to. Well, let's go ahead and reconstruct. So they're saying that the root is hevav tzadik. Sorry. Hevav tzadik, and actually hefitzam in the hifil, right? So hefitzam, hafitz, right? Hafitz. So that's it in the masculine singular, right? So hafitzam. Yeah. That's how it looks. Okay. Pe vav tzadik. I am going to agree with them. Hafitzam. Havaya is the tetragrammaton, obviously. Al is the preposition with the ayin, not aleph. Pene, faces. Kol, all haaretz with the article land. And there is a petucha, there is an open space in the scroll there. Okay? Verse 9 in the King James, therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Yeah, I can go with that. NIV. That is why it is called Babel, and there's a note there, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there, the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. And let's look at note C. That is Babylon. Babel sounds like the Hebrew for confused. Yes, Balal, yes. Okay, and verse 9 in Chabad. Therefore he named it Babel. So see, they're saying Kara, he named it. Like I said, yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah. I agree with the Chabad translation. Are you surprised? For there the Lord confused the language of the entire earth, and from there the Lord scattered them upon the face of the entire earth. Rashi quoting the Mishnah in Sanhedrin. This teaches us that they had no share in the world to come. Now, which sin was worse? Those of the generation of the flood or those of the generation of the dispersion? The former did not stretch forth their hand against God, whereas the latter did stretch forth their hand against God to wage a war against him. Right, because they were building so the Dor HaMabul and Dor HaFlaga, right? So the generation of the flood is Dor HaMabul. The generation of the dispersion is Dor HaFlaga, right? The generation of Babylon, right? Of the confusion of the tower. So they were building a tower to the sky. So they were making war against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the generation of the flood were just evil to each other, right? Nevertheless, the former were drowned. The ones who were evil to each other were, the ones who were evil to each other were drowned. They all died. The Dor HaFlaga, the tower, they were not killed, right? So their punishment seems less. That is because the generation of the flood were robbers, and there was strife between them, and therefore they were destroyed. But these behaved with love and friendship among themselves, as it is said, one language and uniform words, right? So they got along with each other. Thus you learn that discord is hateful and that peace is great, right? Gadol Hashalom, which is one of the great beliefs within Judaism, and this is Genesis Rabbah, and I guess also the Sanhedrin 100. Well, 107b would be in the Talmud. That's so Mishnah Sanhedrin 107. I guess the Mishnah that is said in Sanhedrin 107b, you can look it up in the Talmud if you like. Basically, as Judaism teaches, it's worse to be bad to other people than it is to be hateful towards God, because God loves His children. He will forgive sins against Him. He will not forgive sins against other people because those are not sins solely against Him. So be careful. Okay. אלה תולדות שם בן 100 שנה ויולד את ארפחשד שנתיים אחר המבול. Okay, so we're back into talking about generations. אלה, these, being used kind of as a present. Like I've said several times, the pronoun is sometimes used to indicate the verb to be in the present form, because Hebrew doesn't have the verb to be in the second form, in the present form. Toldot, right? Generations, we've had many times. This is written half b'milui, half b'chisaron, right? The first vav is there, the second vav is not there. Okay? So Toldot can be written without any vavs, can be written with one vav either at the beginning or at the end, or with two vavs, one at the beginning, one at the end, right? And here it's one at the beginning. Shem, so that's his name, which also means name. These are the generations of, so Toldot Shem, it's in the construct form, right? Obviously. These are the generations of Shem. Shem ben Ma'at Shana. Shem was, that's implied, ben meaning son, Ma'at Shana. So when we say someone is the son of something, we mean that he is, right? So if you want to say somebody's 7 years old, you say who ben Sheva, right? He is 7 years, he is the son of 7, means he's 7 years old. Ben Ma'at Shana, he was 100. Me'a means 100, and here it's in the construct form with Shana, right? He was 100 years. Ma'at Shana, Vayoled et Arpachshad, and so conjunctive vav Yoled, they're saying in the Hif'il. We've discussed this verb many times before, what exactly the root is. I usually say it's Lamed Daled Hey. I'm a little surprised they're saying it's in the Hifil. Let's do the construction here. So what they're saying is that Yoled, the root is Yud Lamed Dalet. So let's look at that. Yud Lamed Dalet, right? And they're saying it's in the Hifil, right? So let's vayoled, right? So they're saying it's a consecutive imperfect of Hefil. Let's look at that. Sorry, let's look at that in the constructor. Um, so imperfect, right? Yoled, yol. See, see, there's no yud there. There's no yud there. So I'm not exactly sure why they're saying they're it's in the Hefil. Let me see. Let me see what it looks like in the Nifal. Yuled. Mm, I kind of like that better. Mm, or you could say that the root is actually, so let's do a root lamed de dalet hey, okay, and let's actually put it in the pal, right? Um, Telda yelde. Hmm. Not sure. Not sure. They're saying it's in the Hefil. Doesn't seem to fit. Um, Obviously, it means to cause. Maybe Hefil in of Leda. Let's see what that looks like. Um, Yalde. Hmm. Maybe in the Hufa? No. No. Yulde. In the Hif in the imperfect would be Yulde, and here it's Yoled. Let's see. Maybe the PL? And let's do it with a Polel. No. Polel Yelde. I don't know what to tell you. This it's a curious route for me. Okay, let's. I mean, I'm not gonna keep you guys forever trying to figure out this particular route, but obviously it means was born to him. He caused to be born. He begat. Et Arpach is the direct option moniker, and Arpachshad is the name we've had several times. Shnatayim. So Shana means year. So there's a form in the Hebrew, right, where two of something, um, you conjugate it this way, right? So Shana is 1 year, Shnatayim is 2 years, right? And we do this with a lot of things. So Chodesh is a month, Chodshayim is 2 months. I'm trying to think of what else. I think pretty much everything. I mean, you can take. I'm trying to think of what else. Yom is 1 day. Yomayim is 2 days. Um, is it always with time? It might be almost always with time. but this is a common thing, is a construction, right? Shana shnatayim, 2 years, right? 2 years. Shnatayim achar, meaning after, ha mabul, the, with the article, flood. We've had that many times. King James, verse 10. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat however you say that, 2 years after the flood, right? Let's look at NIV. This is the account of Shem's family line. 2 years after the flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he became the father of Arpachshad. Let's see what the root there is. Father may mean ancestor, also in verse 11:25. I'm not sure how they mean that. Father, I'm not sure where they got the father from. I don't understand I am genuinely surprised with what the NIV is saying. Let's look at Chabad. Verse 10, these are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old, and he begot Arpachshad 2 years after the flood, and Rashi says, when he was 2 years after. So he was 100 years old when he, right, and that comes from the Targum Yonatan. Okay. Next verse. ויחי שם אחרי הולידו את ארפחשד 500 שנה ויולד בנים ובנות. Right? And this is a common construction we have. So conjunctive vav, yechi, comes from lechyot, right? The root is chet, yud, hey, and he lived, right? It's an imperfect, but gets flipped by the vav. Shem is his name, which also means name. Acharei, so after, right? Achar or acharei means same thing. Holido. So this one is actually in the Hefil. This is obviously in the Hefil, and it's the root, I would say, is quite clearly Vav Lamed Daled, or Yud Lamed Daled. No, I would actually, yeah, they're saying it's in the Hefil. If it was Yud, see, this root gives me problems. You can play with it if you like, but Holido is definitely in the Hefil. It's written with the Yud. With the Vav as well, and the Vav at the end means he caused two, right? Holido, he begat Arpachshad, right? Et is the direct object marker. Arpachshad is obviously his name. Chamesh me'ot, chamesh meaning 5, me'ot meaning hundreds, and here written with the Vav, which it usually is. Shana, right? So he lived after he begat Arpachshad 500 years, Shana meaning year, Vayoled, so conjunctive vav, again, Yoled, however you're going to do that, they're doing begat, Banim uvanot, sons and daughters, both written b'milui, both written completely with the Yud and then with the Vav, common construction, and then there's a setuma. There's a closed space in the scroll. Verse 11, and Shem lived after he begat Arpachshad 500 years and begat sons and daughters, yeah. NIV, and after he became the father of Arpachshad, Shem lived 500 years and had other sons and daughters. I'm not sure I would have used the word other there. And Chabad and Shem lived after he had begotten Arpachshad 500 years, and he begot sons and daughters. So you see, I mean, they're saying that all of these is in Hefil, but I don't think Chabad certainly doesn't seem to agree with them. Okay. והפרשת חי 35 שנה ויולד את שלח. Right? So, pretty simple verse. Conjunctive vav, Arpachshad is his name. Chai, lived, it's in the called perfect, it's in the simple, right? To live. Chet yud hey, the hey absconds. Chamesh, meaning 5. Ushloshim, so conjunctive vav, shalosh means 3, shloshim means 30. Shana is year. Vayoled, so conjunctive vav, again, however you want to translate yoled, they're doing bigat. Et is the direct object marker. Shalach is the name Shalach, but here in the verse, it the vocalization changes slightly. Verse 12, and Arpachshad lived 530 years and begat Salah. Right. And NIV, when Arpachshad had lived 35 years, he became the father of Shelah. I'm not sure why they're doing he became the father. Okay. Verse 12, and Arpachshad lived 35 years, and he begot Shelah. Yeah. Next verse. Vayechi Arpachshad acharei holido et Shelach 3 shanim ve'arba me'ot shana vayoled vanim uvanot. Very similar construction. We've had Vayechi, so conjunctive vav, chaya, to live, is in the imperfect, which gets switched because of the vav. Arpachshad is his name. Acharei, meaning after. Holido, written completely with both the vav and the yud, right? Holido, right? The begotten, right? Et is the direct object marker. Shelach is the name. Shalosh is 3, written bechisaron without the vav. It's lacking the vav. Shanim, so 3 years, right, in the plural. Ve'arba, so conjunctive vav, arba means 4. Me'ot is hundreds with the vav. Shana, year. So that's interesting that Arba Ma'ot Shana, the Shana is in the singular and the Shanim is in the plural. However you want to do that. Vayoled, so, and he begat, right? So conjunctive vav, yoled, it's in the imperfect. They're saying of the Hefil. Vanim uvanot, sons and daughters. That is a conjunctive vav, obviously there. Banim has the yud and vanot has the vav, and there is a setuma, there is a closed space in the scroll. Okay, verse 13, and Arpachshad lived after he begat Shelah 403 years. I would have translated 3 years and 400 year. That's what I would have done. And begat sons and daughters. Verse 13 in the NIV, and after he became the father of Shelah, Arpachshad lived 403 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Let's see what the note is in E. Hebrew Septuagint. See also Luke 3:35, 36, and note at Genesis 10:35. In 10:24, 35 years he became the father of Canaan. And after he became the father of Canaan, Arpachshad lived 430 years and had other sons and daughters, and then he died. When Canaan had lived 130 years, he became the father of Shelah, and after he became the father of Shelah, Canaan lived 330 years and had other sons and daughters. So apparently this is something that shows up in Luke 3, which I don't know much about, but that's one of the reasons why they may be translating this slightly differently than we would from the Masoretic text from the Hebrew. Okay, Chabad and Arpachshad lived after he had begotten Shelah 403 years, and he begot sons and daughters. Okay, next verse 14. Veshelach chai 30 shana vayoled et Ever. Okay, conjunctive vav, Shelach is his name, Chai means lived, Shloshim, Shalosh means 3, Shloshim means 30, Shana means year, Va Yoled, so conjunctive vav, Yoled, again, begat, as we've had many times, Et is the direct object marker, Ever is the name, or it can also mean on the other side. Okay. 14, and King James and Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber, right? Or in the NIV, when Shelah had lived 30 years, he became the father of Eber. Okay. Chabad and Shelah lived 30 years and he begat Eber. Okay, however you want to translate that. Verse 15. Vayechi Shelach acharei holido et Ever shalosh shanim ve'arba me'ot shana vayoled banim uvanot. And there's a setuma. So this is a very similar construction to what we had before. Conjunctive vav, imperfect, which gets flipped. He meaning to live, so he lived. Shalach is his name. Acharei meaning after. Holido we've had before. This is obviously the Nehifil, begat him. Et is the direct object marker. Ever is the name. Shalosh is written without a vav, especially saron, lacking the vav, meaning 3. Shanim, years, is in the plural. Va'arba me'ot shana. So conjunctive vav, arba means 4. Me'ot is hundreds with the vav, written b'milui. Shana, meaning year, and it's in the singular. Vayoled, so conjunctive vav, yoled, however you're going to translate that. Banim uvanot, sons and daughters, with the conjunctive vav, and banim is written with the yud, banot is written with the vav. And then there's a setuma, there is a closed space in the scroll. Verse 15, and Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. Verse 15 in the NIV, and after he became the father of Eber, Shelah lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. Chabad, verse 15, and Shelah lived after he had begotten Eber 403 years and he begot sons and daughters. I am obviously a little bit biased towards the Chabad translation. Verse 16, Vayechi Eber arba ushloshim shana vayoled et Paleg. Very similar construction, conjunctive vav, yechi being flipped to the perfect. Ever is the name, arba means 4. Ushloshim, so conjunctive vav, shalosh is 3, shloshim is 30. Shana is years in the singular. So if you want to pay attention to the times where it repeats shana and it says shanim and it says shana, you can be very careful in these verses how you do it. But many people just, a lot of people are not interested in these genealogies, although obviously, since they are in the Bible, those of us who take the Bible seriously take them seriously. Shloshim here is written without a vav, but with a yud. So if you are keeping track of that, Shana is year in the singular. Vayoled, conjunctive of Yoled, we've had many times before. Et Paleg, the direct object marker, and Peleg is the name where it is in the sentence turns it from Peleg to Paleg. Okay, verse 16, King James, and Eber lived 430 years, and he begat Peleg. Right? NIV, and Eber had lived 34 years. When Eber had lived 34 years, he became the father of Peleg. Okay. Chabad, and Eber lived 34 years, and he begot Peleg. Very similar constructions over and over again. Vayechi Eber acharei holido et Peleg 30 shana va'arba me'ot shana vayoled banim uvanot. Again, same construction, conjunctive vav. Yechi is in the imperfect, which gets flipped. Lived, right? Ever is the name. Acharei meaning after. Holido, he begat him, right? It's obviously in the hefil with the vav and the yod. Et is the direct object marker. Peleg is his name. Shloshim means 30. It's written without the vav, with the yod. Shana means year in the singular, but arba, so conjunctive vav, arba means 4, me'ot means hundreds with the vav. Shana is year in the singular, by yoled, so conjunctive vav, yoled, however you're translating that. Banim meaning sons, uvanot, and daughters. Banim is with the yod, banot is with the vav, and there's a setuma, there is a closed space in the scroll. Verse 17 in King James, and Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. Okay. Verse 17 in the NIV, and after he became the father of Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and he had other sons and daughters. So again, very similar. And Eber lived after he had begotten Peleg 430 years, and he begot sons and daughters. I am obviously biased towards the Chabad. Okay, 11:18. Vayechi Peleg, right? So Peleg turns into Peleg because where it is in the sentence. Shloshim shana vayoled et Re'u. So, again, conjunctive vav, yechi is in the imperfect, gets flipped. Peleg, because of where it is in the sentence, it turns from Peleg to Peleg, but it still means the same thing. That's the name. Shloshim meaning 30 without the vav, with the yod. Shana is year in the singular, by yoled. So again, conjunctive vav. However, you are translating yoled to begat, he begat. Et is the direct object marker, and the name is Re'u. Let's see what's King James, verse 18. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Re'u. NIV, when Peleg had lived 30 years, he became the father of Re'u. Okay? Chabad, and Peleg lived 30 years, and he begot Re'u. Okay? Very similar construction over and over again. Vayechi Peleg acharei holido et Re'u 9 shanim umatayim shana vayoled banim uvanot, and there's a setuma. Okay, so Vayechi, and lived, like we've had in the several verses before. Peleg is the name, acharei meaning after, holido written with all the vavs and the yods it's in the hefil as before. Et is the direct object marker. Re'u is his name. Tesha is 9. Shanim is years in the plural. Umatayim, so conjunctive vav. Ma'a is 100. Matayim is 200, right? Like I said, this is the double form, right? This is the number. So this is 200. Matayim shana is year in the singular. Vayoled banim uvanot. So and conjunctive vav, yoled, begat, however you translate that. Banim is written sons with the yud. Uvanot conjunctive vav. Banot is written with the vav. Daughters. And there's a setuma, there's a closed space in the scroll. King James, verse 19, and Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years, and he begat sons and daughters. NIV, and after he became the father of Reu, Peleg lived 209 years and had other sons and daughters. Chabad, and Peleg lived after he had begotten Reu 209 years, and he begot sons and daughters. Yeah. Again, I would go with the Chabad. Verse 20. Vayechi Reu 32 shana, vayoled et Srug. So, same construction, Vayechi, and he lived. Reu is the name. Shtayim, meaning 2. Ushloshim, so conjunctive vav shloshim is 30, written without the vav. Shana, meaning year in the singular. Vayoled, and begat, however you're translating that. Et is the direct object marker. Serug is a name. King James, verse 20, and Reu lived 230 years and begat Serug. Verse 20 in the NIV, when Reu had lived 32 years, he became the father of Serug. And Chabad, verse 20, and Reu lived 32 years and he begot Serug. Okay, verse 21. Vayechi Reu acharei holido et Serug Sheva shanim umatayim shana vayoled banim ubanot, and there's a setuma. Very similar instruction to what we've had before. Vayechi, and lived, Reu is his name, acharei meaning after, holido written completely with the vav and the yud. Et is the direct object marker. Serug is his name. Sheva means 7. Shanim is years in the plural. Umatayim, so conjunctive vav. Ma means 100. Matayim means 200. Shana is year in the singular. Vayoled, so conjunctive vav. And yoled, however you translate that. Banim, written with the yud. Uvanot, conjunctive vav. Vanot is written with the vav. And setuma, there is a closed space in the scroll. Verse 21 in King James, and Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years, and he begat sons and daughters. NIV, and after he became the father of Serug, Reu lived 207 years and had other sons and daughters. And Chabad, and Reu lived after he had begotten Serug 207 years, and he begot sons and daughters. Okay, verse 22. Vayechi Serug 30 shana vayoled et Nahor. Very similar construction. And he lived. Serug is the name. Shloshim, meaning 30 without the vav. Shana is year in the singular. Vayoled, and he begat. Et is the direct object marker. Nahor is the name. Written with a vav, which I'm guessing will be continued when everything is written. Verse 22. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. Okay, 22. When Serug had lived 30 years, he became the father of Nahor. King Chabad and Serug lived 30 years, and he begot Nahor. Very, very similar constructions over and over again. Vayechi Serug acharei holido et Nahor 200 shana vayoled banim uvanot. Very similar construction to what we've had before. Vayechi, and he lived. Serug is the name. Acharei meaning after. Holido written completely as same way as before. Et is the direct object marker. Nahor, written same as before, is his name. Matayim is 200. Shana is years in the singular by Yoled. So, and he begat as we had before. Banim, written as before. Uvanot, daughters as we had before. Setuma, there's a closed space in the scroll. Verse 23, and Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years, and begat sons and daughters. NIV, and after he became the father of Nahor, Serug lived 200 years, and had other sons and daughters. Chabad 23, and Serug lived after he had begotten Nahor 200 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And suddenly we're getting to Terach finally, and this is going to be important because Terach is an important person. Shows up in the Haggadah. Vayechi Nahor tesha ve'esrim shana vayoled et Terach. Tarach, right? So very similar sentence. Vayechi, and lived. Nahor is his name, as we said. Tesha means 9. Ve'esrim, so conjunctive of esrim is 20. Written as you would expect it with the yud. Shana is year in the singular by Yoled, and he begat. Et is the direct object marker. Tarach is the name Terach at the end of a sentence, and the vowel changes slightly. Verse 24 in the King James, and Nahor lived 9 and 20 years, and begat Terach. In the NIV, when Nahor had lived 29 years, he became the father of Terach. Chabad, and Nahor lived 29 years, and he begot Terach. Very, very similar construction we've had many times before. Vayechi Nahor acharei holido et Terach tesha esre shana uma'at shana vayoled banim uvanot. Wow, this is a little bit slightly different, but very similar. Vayechi, and lived, same as we had before. Nahor is his name, as written before. Acharei, meaning after. Holido, as we said before. He filled clearly with the Vav and the Yud. Et is the direct object marker. Terach is the name. Tesha esre, right? Tesha, cha, is, here is sha esre. Tesha is 9. Esre is 10. Cha esre is 19. Shana is year in the singular. Uma'at, so conjunctive vav, mea is 100. Here it's in the construct form with shana, which is year in the singular. Vayoled, so conjunctive vav, yoled, and he begat, however you're translating that. Banim, sons, as we had before. Uvanot, conjunctive vav, vanot, as we had before. Setuma, there is a closed space in the scroll. Verse 25, King James, and Nahor lived after he begat Terach 119 years, and begat sons and daughters. Or the NIV, and after he became the father of Terach, Nahor lived 119 years and had other sons and daughters. Don't like all the things that they are imputing in there, but that is what NIV does. And Nahor lived after he had begotten Terach 119 years, and he begot sons and daughters. It would be translating all of these the way Chabad does. Verse 26. Okay. Vayechi Terach shiv'im shana vayoled et Avram et Nahor ve'et Haran. Okay, so now we're getting into the people we're gonna get to know very well. Vayechi, again, same construction we've had before. Terach is the name. Shiv'im, so Sheva means 7, Shiv'im means 70. Shana is year in the singular. Vayoled, he begat. Et is the direct object marker. Avram, right? Abraham, before he became Abraham, was Abraham was Avram, right? Et Nahor, so direct object marker again. Curiously, there's no vav here. Nahor, so I guess he named his son after his father, which is a Jewish tradition actually. Ve'et Haran. And so conjunctive of et is the direct object marker. Haran is Haran. Sorry, not Haran. Haran is the name. Okay, let's see what King James does with verse 26. And Terach lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran, sorry. 26 in the NIV. And Terach had lived 70 years. He became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Let's see what Chabad does with 26. And Terach lived 70 years, and he begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. It's a slightly different, strange to me that there's no vav between Avram and Nahor, but Rashi's not saying anything either. Okay, so now we're gonna switch because now we're getting to important people, I guess. So it says ve'ele toldot Terach. Terach holid et Avram et Nahor ve'et Haran ve'Haran holid et Lot. Right? So this is how we find out that Lot is the nephew of Avram. Right? So conjunctive vav, ele is these, right? And it's being used. The pronoun here is being used to imply the verb to be in the present sense, because we don't have that in the Hebrew. Toldot is written with the first vav, not the second. Generations, we've had this before in a similar form. It's in the construct form with Terach, right? So the generations of Terach. Terach holid, right? Terach is his name. Holid is obviously in the hif'il with the vav and the yud. Et is the direct object marker. Avram is his name. Et, again, without a vav, is the direct object marker. Nahor is the name, similar as how we've always been writing it. Ve'et, so conjunctive vav, et is the direct object marker. Haran is the name. Ve'haran, so conjunctive vav, Haran is his name. Holid is in the hifil, obviously, with the vav and the yud. Et is the direct object marker. Lot is a name. Okay. Verse 27 in King James. Now these are the generations of Terach. Terach begat Avram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. Okay. NIV. This is the account of Terach's family line. Terach became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran, and Haran became the father of Lot. Okay? Chabad, and these are the generations of Terach. Terach begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. Pretty simple stuff. Now we're out of all the generational stuff and we start talking about the story of Haran. Vayamot Haran al pene terach aviv be'eretz moladeto be'ur kastim. Okay, so conjunctive vav, the yud tells you it's an imperfect. The root here is a mem vav taf, right? To die. Vayamot, it's in the imperfect, but that gets flipped, obviously, because of the vav. Haran, so Haran died. Al pene, so this is the preposition al with the ayin, not aleph. Pene, meaning the faces, right? The face of Terach. So it means he died before his father, right? Penei Terach, he died on the face of his father, before the face of his father. Aviv, av meaning father, aviv meaning his father, right? Be'eretz, so that's the prepositional bet without an article. Eretz meaning land. It's in the construct form with moladeto, right? Moleda. So this is again, however you are, that verb, that curious verb, however you're doing it. Moladeto, his birthplace. Moledet is a birthplace, in the land of his birthplace, right? Of his birth. Moladeto be'ur, so prepositional bet, or is a proper name, but apparently or is actually a proper name that was used more than once. So ur kastim is a particular ur, a particular, right? So ur kastim, it is the Ur of the Chaldeans they're translating, which or you can just call it Ur Kasdim, which I think most Jewish translations just leave it as Ur Kasdim, but that's not what King James does. And Haran died before his father Terach in the land of his nativity, in the Ur of the Chaldees. Okay. Verse 28 in the NIV, while his father Terach was still alive, Haran died in Ur of the Chaldeans, in the land of his birth. I don't know why they translate that way. While his father Terach was still alive. I mean, I don't know where they get that unless it's one of the, it's from the Septuagint or something. Let's see. And Haran died during the life of Terach, his father, in the land of his birth, in the Ur of the Chaldees, right? And Rashi says, Al Panei Terach Aviv, during the life of, literally it says, right? It says on the face of his father. So what does that mean? During his father's life, that's from the Tanhuma, and you can look at that midrash. And our midrash Agada tells us that he died on account of his father, right? Al Panei Terach, he died because Terach was obviously right? So let's see what it says. For Terach complained about Avram, his son, before Nimrod for crushing his idols. So there is a midrash Agadita. There is a story that when Avram was a child, he destroyed his father's idols, right? And apparently Terach went to Nimrod, who was the king, and complained about Abram crushing his idols. So Nimrod cast Avram into a fiery furnace, and Haran said and thought, if Avram is victorious, I am on his side, and if Nimrod is victorious, I am on his side. When Avram was saved, they said to Haran, whose side are you on? Haran said to them, I am on Avram's side. right? Because Avram, even though he was thrown into the furnace, he was obviously saved. They cast him into a fiery furnace and he was burned. This is the meaning of Ur Kasdim, the fire of Chaldees, right? Because Ur in Hebrew can be read as Or, meaning light, right? Ur Kasdim. Menachem, who was a Gaon who taught Rashi, however, explains Ur as a valley. Menachem ben Sruk, who is a Gaon, Pirash, Ur Bik'ah, V'chen be'urim kvodo Hashem. So in Yeshayahu, in Isaiah 24:15, we have Ba'urim is at crevices, right? And so in 11:8, right, earlier in this, what did we have in 11:8, right? Why is he... saying 11:8 over the whole? Oh, sorry, in the Yeshayahu, for some reason, this is an Isaiah where it's Me'urat, right? For a moment there, I thought he meant in this chapter of Genesis, when it said Sham, right, Ibid, I thought, sorry, it's Isaiah. Right, so it's all talking about Isaiah. You can look in Isaiah 24 or 11 and see why Menachem ben Saruk, who was a Gaon, translated Ur as a valley. Okay, let's keep on going. Verse 29. Vayikach Avram v'Nahor lahem nashim Shem eshet Avram Sarai v'Shem eshet Nahor Milka bat Haran avi Milka v'avi Yiska. Okay. Vayikach, which is a little bit strange because it's in a singular, right? This is lakachat, which we've discussed before, to take, right? It's in the imperfect, but gets switched because of the vav. Avram is his name. Venachor. So it's in a singular, even though it's talking about the two of them. I'm not sure why. Conjunctive vav, Nahor. Lahem, to themselves, right? Prepositional lamed, with hem meaning themselves. Nashim meaning wives, right? Isha is a woman. Nashim is women or wives. Shem, Eshet Avram. So the name of Eshet. So Shem, Eshet Avram. It's one big construct. Isha, because it's in the construct form with Avram, is being turned into Eshet. The Hey turns into a Tav. Shem Eshet Avram, the name of the wife of Avram, Sarai, right? The was is implied there. The Shem Eshet Nahor, and the name, so conjunctive vav, Shem being name, Eshet Nahor, again, same construct form, Nahor being his name, Milka was Milka, Bat Haran. So she was the daughter of Haran, who passed away. Avi Milka va'avi Yiska. So Haran, the father of Milka and the father of Iska, right? Avi can mean ancestor, but usually just means, well, I guess here it's quite possible that here Avi means, it comes from Av meaning father, but Avi with the yud at the end usually is talking about an ancestor. So possibly she was a granddaughter or a great grand or even a great granddaughter of Haran, as was Yiska. Okay. Possibly Rashi will explain that, but we'll take a look. Verse 29 in the King James. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. Yeah, I can live with that. And I mean, Abram and Nahor both married. Meh. I don't know why. I don't like the both married. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah. She was the daughter of Haran, the father of both Milcah and Yiscah. Yeah, okay. Let's see what Chabad does with that. And Abram and Nahor took themselves wives. See, they're staying true to the Vayikach being in the singular and Lahem being in the plural. I like that better. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Yiscah. Rashi explains Yiscah. This is Sarah, called Yiscah because she would be soche, right? Socha through divine inspiration, and because all gazed, sochin, right? So soche means to see, apparently, at her beauty. Alternatively, Yiska is an expression denoting princedom, nesichut, okay? Just as Sarah is an expression of dominion, Sarah. This is all from Megillat, the Talmud in the Talmud Megillah 14a. And I'm guessing that would be explained there more clearly. Because this is a construction that is, it's not exactly your normal construction. And probably the Talmud there learns all of this out from the various words. Okay. As soon as this loads, verse 30. Why is this not loading? Does it not like me? It seems to not like me. Okay, there we go. Vatehi Sarai akara ein lah valad. Okay, so conjunctive vav, tehi is the feminine form of yehi, right? The imperfect. We've had yehi many times. That tough is the feminine form because obviously we're talking about Sarai, who is feminine. That's her name. Akarat means barren. Akar means to uproot, right? Ayin kof resh means to uproot. But an akara is a barren woman. Okay? Ein la. So Ein la is a common way of saying she didn't have any, right? Ein meaning not, right? No, there is not. La, it's the prepositional lamed with the hey, making a third person feminine singular. There was not for her, to her, valad, right? Again, this root. See, yeah. Meaning a child, right? Possibly the root is vav lamed daled. Possibly the root is yud lamed daled. You do however you want. That's it. You could just say it's an irregular verb. The thing is, it's just it's conjugated in so many different ways in the Bible. That's what confuses me. Okay, verse 30. But Sarai was barren and she had no child. Right? NIV, now Sarai was childless because she was not able to conceive. I don't know why they decided to make that so complicated. Chabad. And Sarai was barren. She had no child. Okay. Pretty simple. Verse 31. Vayikach Terach et Avram beno ve'et Lot ben Haran ben beno ve'et Sarai kalato eshet Avram beno ve'yetz'u itam mi'ur kasdim lalechet arza Kenan vayovou ad Haran ve'yeshvu sham. Okay. It's long, but it's pretty simple. Vayikach. So again, conjunctive vav. This is lakachat, to take. It's in the singular. The yud puts it in the imperfect, but the imperfect gets flipped by the vav. Terach. So Terach took et Avram beno. So direct object marker. Avram is the name. Beno, ben means sons. Beno means his son. Ve'et, so conjunctive vav, et is the direct object marker. Lot is the name. Ben meaning son. Haran meaning is his brother. So his nephew Lot, right? The son of Lot, Haran. Beno, right? So the son of his son, right? So his grandson, Beno, right? So Lot ben Haran is Beno, because Haran is his son. Okay. Ve'et Sarai, so conjunctive vav. Et is the direct object marker. Sarai is her name. Kala means bride. Kalato means his bride. Okay. The hey turns into a taf. And the vav is the third person masculine. Kalato, right? His bride. Eshet Avram. So Isha means wife. In the construct form, so the hey turns into a taf. Avram is his name. So the wife of Avram, right? Beno, his son. Ve'yetz'u. So conjunctive vav. The root here is tzadik aleph hey, to leave, to go out, right? The yud turns it into the imperfect. The hey has absconded, and the vav is the third person masculine plural. So and they went out. Itam. Ve'yetz'u itam. And they went with them. So who's they and who's with them is kind of not clear. Maybe Rashi will say. But like I've said, the direct object marker et sometimes is used as a preposition to mean with. Itam, right? With them. Me'ur, so prepositional mem, or is or. Kasdim, right? So from Ur Kasdim, or of the Chaldeans, right? Lalechet, so that's the infinitive of to go, like, right? The root is lamed chaf hey, maybe, or hey lamed chaf, or lamed chaf. You can look at your concordance. Artsa, so that hey is the directional hey at the end. They're saying third person feminine singular. That's wrong. There's a directional hey. I think we've mentioned it before, which means towards, right? Artsa Canaan. So Artsa Canaan means towards the land of, right? Artsa, towards the land, Canaan, right? The lands of Canaan. Vayavo, so conjunctive vav. The root here is bet aleph hey, to go or to come. To come, bo, right? Vayavo, and they came. It's in the imperfect, but the imperfect gets flipped by the vav. The vav at the end is the third person masculine plural, and they came ad onto, right? It's the preposition to or until Haran, right? Which is the name of the city. Veyeshvu, so conjunctive vav. The root here is lashevet, right? Yeshuv, either yud shin bet or shin bet hey, and they settled, right? It's in the imperfect, but the imperfect gets flipped by the vav, and the vav at the end tells you that it's in the third person masculine plural. Sham meaning there, and they settled there, and they dwelt there. They're translating. King James. And Terach took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came upon Haran and dwelt there. Yeah, I mean, that seems a very literal way of saying it. I like that they said, and they went forth with them. What exactly what that means, we'll see what Rashi says. I'm guessing Rashi will explain. Okay, Terach took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarah, the wife of his son Abram. I would have said, and his bride Sarai. And together they set out from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to Canaan, but when they came to Haran, they settled there. Okay, let's see what Chabad says. And Terach took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his grandson, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, the wife of Abram his son, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go to the land of Canaan, and they came as far as Haran and settled there. One thing I want to make clear is usually in the Hebrew, when we say that somebody is the bride of someone, we mean his daughter-in-law. Okay? That I want to make that perfectly clear. We rarely use kala, bride, with the groom. We usually use kala to mean the who married, right, with the in-laws, with the parents of the groom. Okay? When we say a bride, we mean daughter-in-law. Okay? That's I hope that's clear. So when it says kalato, you should not in any way think that it says his bride as in he married her. That's not how we use kala in Hebrew. Okay? That's not how we use bride in Hebrew. We say eshet ishto would be his wife. His bride, right? Because in the English we use bride to mean recently married. That's not how it's used in Hebrew. Okay. So Rashi explains the Vayetzu itam, why it's so. And Terach and Abram went forth with Lot and Sarai, right? Vayetzu itam. Okay. Vayikach Terach et Avram beno, ואת לוט בן הרן בן בנו, ואת שרי כלתו, אשת אברהם בנו, v'yetz'u itam. So I guess, yeah, Terach and Avram, and so Lot and Sarai went with Terach and Avram. Okay, yeah, that's how he's explaining, and they went with them. Okay. Last verse. There's a lot of Rashis on here, but we'll get there. Okay. And I don't want to make it seem like I always do the Rashis. This isn't a Rashi, Chumash Rashi, but I like the Rashis. Can you tell? Okay. Vayihyu yemei terach 5 shanim u'matayim shana vayamot terach b'charan. And there's a satuma. Okay. So conjunctive vav, Yehyu is the plural masculine of to be. So, and because days is masculine plural, Yehyu is conjugated in the masculine plural, right? So conjunctive vav, this is in the imperfect, gets flipped to the perfect by the vav. Yehyu, and they were. Yemei, meaning days, right? In the construct form. Yamim, yam is day, yamim is days, yamei is the construct form of yamim, terach is his name, chamesh means 5, shanim is years in the plural, with the yud, written with the yud, umatayim, so conjunctive vav, mea means 100, matayim means 200, okay? Shana is year in the singular, vayamot. So conjunctive vav, it's in the imperfect of to die, right? The root is mem vav tet, taf, sorry, mem vav taf. But the imperfect gets flipped to the perfect by the vav. Terach is his name. Bet is the prepositional bet without any article. Haran is the place, and there is a setuma. There is a closed space in the scroll. King James, and the days of Terach were 205 years, and Terach died in Haran. NIV, Terach lived 205 years, and he died in Haran, right? And Chabad, and the days of Terach were 205 years, and Terach died in Haran. So Rashi explains Terach died in Haran. This happened after Avram had left Haran, had come to the land of Canaan, and had been there for over 60 years. For it is written, Avram was 75 years old when he left Haran, and Terach was 70 years old when Avram was born, making Terach 145 years old when Avram left Haran. Accordingly, many of Terach's years were left. Why then does the scripture relate Terach's death before Avram's departure, so that the matter should not be publicized to all, whereby they would say Avram did not fulfill the commandment of honoring his father, for he left him in his old age and went away. Therefore, Scripture calls him dead, for the wicked, even in their lifetimes, are called dead, whereas the righteous, even in their death, are called living, as it is said, 2 Samuel 23:20, and Benayahu, the son of Yehoiada, the son of a living man, Ben Ish Chai, right? Very famous thing. Note that the Kri of Ben Ish Chai, Ben Ish Chayil, right? The rabbis here expound on the Ketiv Ben Ish Chai. So this happens in the Ketuvim a lot more in the Nevi'im than it ever happens in the Torah, there are times when things are written one way and said a different way. It is written Ben Ishchai, but written Ben Ishchael. And you can look in Samuel 2, 2 Samuel 23, and the Genesis Rabbah, and um, and the Talmud Berachot for that particular, and of course the great Rabbi Ben Ishchai from Baghdad, which we won't get into here, but Jews will recognize. In Haran, right? The Haran, the Nun of Haran is inverted to tell you that until Avram appeared, the wrath of the Omnipresent was kindled. Okay, so let's actually Beverly Hills Chabad. So they actually have the actual scroll visible here. So let's Bereshit. This should be towards the end of Noah. Anshe Hashem Baritz Darko Haaretz Mikolav Hahor Beno Hakatan Yifredu Ron Holid et Lot Sure Hanegba Becharan Terach Becharan. So Rashi says that the nun in the Bible is inverted. Where is that? Haran. That's surprising because that's not what I'm seeing here. When I'm looking, I don't see an inverted nun in the Torah itself. Possibly Rashi's Torahs, based on apparently the Sifri in Hazinu. Okay, that's not how apparently ours don't show a nun hafucha there, but Rashi does. Okay. Well, hopefully this will become true as it once was. Ki az epoch el amim safa berura likro chulam b'shem havaya la'uvdo shchem echad. And thus I will restore to the peoples a pure language that they may call in the name of Havaya to serve him with one accord. Amen. I hope this was a blessing to you as it was a blessing to me.